how's it going everyone? So I just stopped mid-run there because I wanted to make a quick video. You know, working with clients and seeing the difficulties that they're going through, and you can, like, when you've reached a stage of recovery, you see every sort of mistake people make. And you know, it's so hard to just tell people, like, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop doing this, stop doing that, do this, do this, do this, do that, because habits are so ingrained, and the resistance you feel is just it's so damn hard that, like, although you see the mistakes people are making, and they also know the mistakes that they're making in regards to going towards recovery, they're doing certain things that is just keeping them stuck in the cycle. And I just want to touch on that a little bit, just how hard it is for you. Give people the, like, even with me, like, I knew all the tools to recovery from all the everything that I've looked up the past. Like, I had this shit for 10 years, so you can only imagine the amount of education you get on the subject, because you do almost study it. You start to learn about the brain, the nervous system, the stress response, the amygdala, all those type of stuff. And even someone who's into it 1 year or a couple of months can learn all that, because you just become so obsessed with it. So just to touch on that again about the resistance again, I keep talking about resistance and talking about old habits and old behaviours that, like, you've stumbled into, and you do these ritualistic behaviours from no fault of your own. Your brain has literally told you to be on high alert, and the stress response has forced you from no fault of your own to go into these ritualistic behaviours and habits that have just been reinforced time and time again, which has created this big shitstorm that you're in. And that's why it's so hard for people to break out of it. And they think they can do this for 2 weeks, and then almost, you know, people think that they can do this for 2 weeks and then reverse a total of how many months or years they've been stuck in the cycle. Let's say 5 years, just as an example. They think they can reverse that in 5 years struggle with anxiety disorder, agoraphobia. Does not leave you in a couple of weeks. You know, it takes number one, eliminating all your safety behaviours and avoidance behaviours. And how you eliminate those is you go into the panic. Everything is based around going into panic. If you're suffering agoraphobia, basically your fear basically is having a panic attack in certain places that you just escape is not easy. Going far in cars away from home, you've literally just placed everything in your safety behaviours and in your safe people. That's just immobilised you, and you've conditioned that response so many times that once you fear that anxiety, you're gone home. And how do you change that? For me, I changed mine by getting to a state of utter hopelessness. Just, I could not take this anymore, and I decided that this was it. I'm going to this. I don't care if this kills me. I don't care if this panic attack sends me off the wall. I'm actually going insane, which I knew logically it ain't going to happen anyway, but there's no point. You know, people with all this knowledge, like, you can have all the knowledge in the world, especially this sums up people with panic disorder and panic attacks and stuff like that. You can have all the knowledge in the world, and if you're not putting it into practice, it means shit. So eventually start putting this shit into practice, and I decided that I'm going to jog into this panic. I'm going to, like, if anything was going to happen to me, it'd be on a jog. My heart rate's pumping. All the symptoms of a panic attack is basically what happens when you're going on a jog. So yeah, I decided to run into this and just not stop. And I had all those fears, and over the course of a couple of weeks, some days I'd felt, you know, not so much immediate results, but glimpses, as Claire Week says, glimpses. But I was consistent at this every day. I wanted my life back so bad. I had so much life to give, you know. I had so much to give to life. I had so much to give to myself. I wanted life back. I wanted life. You know, it took 10 years of my life. I wanted to make up for so much. I had so much potential. I had so much beautiful family around me. I loved myself as a person. I loved myself as a person, in fact. I just didn't like the state that I was in for all those years. So for me, going towards recovery, nothing was going to stop me. You know, there was days where, you know, I'd be lying in bed and be making excuses for myself, like, oh, don't really feel up good today, or I'm anxious, I'm panicky today, I'm having these fearful thoughts again. I didn't care. I was up and I was gone. I did not sit in and ruminate and procrastinate. That keeps anyone stuck in a bad cycle of whether it's depression or anxiety or anything, but especially panic and agoraphobia and stuff like that. That shit, that just can't exist. You have to have a set routine of getting up every morning and going into that panic, and that's what I did. And over the course of a couple of weeks, I was getting glimpses of recovery, and then within, I'd say, 2 months, I was venturing further than I ever had in the last couple of years, running far on jogs. And just think about that, like, for someone who didn't, for the last 2 years of my recovery, I didn't go more than 2-3 kilometers from home because I'm fear of like panic attacks, stuff like that. So here I am, like, going on 10-15k runs. Imagine the self-belief that brought me. You know, I almost remember just the flow state I'd get through these jogs, and you know, some of it would be just jogging and running. I'd jog into like places I haven't been before, and I'd be just walking around just in awe of how I'm progressing and stuff like that. And when you get a sniff of that recovery pattern, or a sniff of any sort of you know, recovery, you'd be infatuated by it. You just want to get up and do it again and again and again. And then within like the 3rd month, 4th month, I swear to God, guys, I'd never make any form of lies or deception up on this channel. I swear to God, I went from being on 10s, the scale is from 10 to 0, 10 being the highest and in panic. I was on 10s at the start of this journey, panicking every day, to literally 0. I swear to God, I desensitized my whole self to this shit. I didn't feel, because I went towards all my fears. I went towards everything. Everything I feared, I just went towards through jogging. And I realised that, wow, discipline, wow, that form of exercise, wow, that form of just going into. And the amount of times I had to panic severely to overcome this. That's the thing what people don't understand. They think that just because you're going towards recovery, that anxiety is going to treat you as a special person, that like, okay, he's going towards recovery, let's give him an easy time. No, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard. Probably at the start, it's harder for people. It's harder for people at the start because they're stuck in this cycle for so long, and they have these irrational fears that built up into almost reality for them, you know. But it's total bullshit. It's total shite, ridiculous, irrational thoughts. That's what's happening. Irrational thoughts and fears are keeping you from living your life, basically. And for me, no, I wasn't going to allow it to happen. I'd rather die a warrior out on that jog than be in my house crippled with fear and anxiety. And yeah, so I'm just thinking there about recovery, and here I am, like, just right in the middle of Paris, out on a jog. I just stopped midway through the jog to make this video because I haven't made a video in a while, and it's been playing on my mind for a while to make these videos of just this. I always want to simplify anxiety recovery. You know, when you say anxiety recovery, you can never fully recover from anxiety. You can fully recover from anxiety disorders, agoraphobia, health anxiety, all the types of panic attacks. You can never get rid of anxiety. You know, you can totally desensitize yourself to experiencing normal levels of anxiety, which you did before your first ever panic attack. Or state of desensitization. That's recovery. That's what I'm talking about. We need anxiety in our life. You know, a certain amount of anxiety can be good, can be healthy for the body. So I just wanted to make that video to simplify recovery. That all it takes is a shit ton of bravery, a shit ton of consistent action, a shit ton of stop doing all the ritualistic behaviours that your brain thinks that you need to do, seeking reassurance, calling people, all the stuff that you know is keeping you in the cycle because you've already educated yourself on it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. All that's left is to put this into practice. So yeah, that's really it. It's all about practice. It's all about starting off. When you start off, you'll feel absolutely horrible. No changes will happen. Same way if you're going to lose weight in the gym or you know, lose weight in whatever, the first couple of weeks, you ain't going to lose shit. You know, probably, you know, whatever, you lose a little bit, but you won't see any noticeable, changeable difference. But within 6 months, you're a new person. You look different. Your whole body's different. Everything's just better. And that's what the process is like. And that's why I try to bring it back to simplify it. It's all about habits. It's all about behaviours. It's all about stop doing the things that keep you in the cycle and start doing your old psychology versus your new psychology. And that's it, guys. I wanted my life so bad. I was willing to do anything. And I got to such a bad state that my mindset was like, I don't care if this kills me. And that's what kind of set me free. And I meant it. I didn't care anymore. And that's the mindset you have to try cultivate, because this shit ain't gonna do shit to you. It doesn't do anything to you. The DPD, you're totally harmless. You know, the panic attacks never killed anyone, and they never will. The anxiety, it's absolutely excruciating when you're going through it, but can never cause you any harm. You know, it's crazy that, like, once we go into this, everything just falls down. The whole house of cards is just down. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that, guys. I'll post this up in a few minutes when I go back up the jog. Take it easy.